Morning everyone. So we are on site. It is Friday morning. I had a slightly rushed morning because I woke up a little bit late. It's never like me, as you all know. I never wake up late. Looking up with local, so that was an absolute gem of a fate there. This hot weather, you're out first thing in the morning, you're out till last thing at night, and I can tell you what, it don't cause you problems in terms of sleep at night. You can't cool down, even after a nice cold shower, or even if you have a warmer shower, try and bring your temperature down naturally. You cannot cool down, even with, you know, fans galore on. It's absolute nightmare. At the minute, I'm machine operator today. So we brought in our Uniforest grab that we have on our Manitou, and I'll show you some footage of it in a second. But a lot of people, again, I've done a video on it. I don't know if I've released it or not. I've got to do it. I recorded it last year. As I say, I've got tons of videos from last year that I'm still working through getting done. I did it in terms of relevance and importance, so I probably add the Uniforest grab one to this one. But you know, you've got the boom of a telehandler. You can use anything, and it doesn't matter which headstock you get. You can convert the headstocks anyway, and they're pretty cheap. So I've gone for manual on this one. I got it a while back, and the reason I went for manual is because you never know where you're going to. Now you can have it fitted with an extra auxiliary, great, but what happens if you go somewhere and it hasn't got an extra auxiliary? So if you go manual, all you have to do is use the timber to turn itself. You develop a skill, and I'll tell you what, if you can develop this skill, which doesn't take long to learn, just a bit of practice, if you can develop this skill, when you come to using normal grabs, you're a wizard. The only thing is that I'll say about where we're working, I'll show you some videos in a minute, we're on a bit of a hill bank, so you can't load up too much, you don't want to tip anything. I doubt anything would tip, but the controls lock up a little bit, but it's a very familiar machine to what I have, and which is really good. So I have a Manitou 900 series, 2018 model, I think it is. I'll have to check that, but I'm sure it's 2018 model, and this is great. The only issue is because his auxiliary is backwards, I could change hoses around, to be fair. Yeah, I could change the hoses around. Well, no, I can't because you have to alter it to sort it, but essentially we are reverse control, so what I'm used to. Now I've operated loads of, you know, farmers' machinery, firewood people's machinery, and it's never been a problem. But because I'm in a machine that I operate daily, natural habits and causes cause you to automatically, no matter what you do, no matter how slow you go, keep reverting back to your default setting in your brain. So you always end up, you know, clicking the wrong buttons and levers. So we are currently filling up to grain trailers. We're working for a chap called Scott. He's down in Lutterworth, quite local to us, and yeah, it's going great. We're filling up the grain trailers. He sells roughly, give or take, 600 to 700 bags a year. He's run out a bit of time. Scott's brought a small holding, and he's got a lot of work to do on that. So congratulations, Scott. I hope everything goes all to plan when you watch this. But yeah, it's a nice day. It's very hot in this cab though. Got the door open. I might open the back window in a minute, but I don't know how it'll be filming, but it's very hot today, so it's hitting 30s today. Just literally grading this timber as best as I can for Jake. See how I get on with that. That's the hardest part for, I say, the process of having ungraded timber, and swapping wedges, swapping heads, slowing everything down. Very jolty this one is. I think it's because I'm not sure if this is an agri spec or construction spec. Slightly different in terms of the way it handles, Like, I've always found, I could be wrong, that the construction specs are slightly smoother, and I think that's because they use people in fucking hell, that shit me up. They use people in buckets. They have to do fine little tuning on site. But yeah. So I'm going to add a few montages in today of things being cut, of me grading the timber, and I'll keep you updated throughout the day. One thing that I will say is, and I'm starting to speak to clients about it, a lot of people are probably wondering, because I wonder myself, why I'm not uploading the finished piles. Now, there's a reason for that. Sometimes, well, I say sometimes, a lot of the time, the finished pile gets put in an area they don't want people to see. And that is the best way I can describe it. I've got kit in there, then, or whatever. Right, guys and girls, I don't know if you're going to hear me, but quite frankly, I do not care. I've just been cooking in a cab for half a day, and the thing has aircon. It's like a fridge in here. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 30-something degrees in this cab, and then now it's gone down to whatever it is now. It's like a fridge in here. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. This is luxury. I feel like I'm in a Lamborghini right now. Our mansion does not have aircon. I didn't even think to look for aircon. Why didn't I think? I don't know. But I tell you what, I'm as happy can be. Go hopping in and out, sorting out logs, so a lot of stuff. As I'm limited to what I can record, but you're going to get the gist of it. We've done the trailer so far. It's about 10 to 12 cube. Now we're doing a bucket, which is about, I don't know, per bucket you get about 3 bags ish. It's the same size as our bucket. In fact, actually it's a bit bigger. But yeah, but you get about 3 bags. Yeah, 3 bags per bucket. So what we're saying there, that's about 1.2, 1.8 cube ish. Give or take a little bit, and the bucket's already about full, so we are absolutely flying through it now. On the bigger stuff, obviously we're about to go back on smaller stuff, but again, great. I need some room. I grade out a load of big stuff and flying through it. Now, just remember, when it comes to machinery and processes and separating and grading, a lot of people leave the small stuff in a separate pile. Just do not process it at all. I personally do not like doing that, because whatever you do, you've got a grueling day of awkwardness, okay? Now, as I say, it all depends on circumstances. There could be a time where, I don't know, on small stuff, you don't need 2 operators. It takes you that long to get through it, you can load the deck up a bit more. But it's all about cost effectiveness. But I do love the fact of being able to, you know, grade your timber as it's going on. So usually we grade it out of the stack, which is great. So I have 2 sides of the stack, and I just, you know, while the table's full, I work through it. Obviously a bit limited on space here, but the amount of happiness it brings you not having a full day of rubbish stuff. And if you start to get a bit bored, go back onto the big stuff. If you think, right, I'm having too much fun here, go back onto the small stuff. You find yourself like almost like an average, and you end up, you know, not leaving yourself with too much small stuff, not, you know, having all the fun, and you kind of work out. So I know a few people, literally, I've worked on sites before, they've gone, I'll just get all the big stuff out of the way, and, you know, because I want to get the most out of the money that we're there, which is great. Get most of the big stuff out of the way, and if we have time, we'll get the small stuff, and then you're just left with small stuff for like another day or 2. We had one ages ago who just wanted all the stuff that he didn't want doing. So that's an interesting one. We've not really had that much, but we sometimes have clients where they will get us in just for the stuff they do not want to do or can't be bothered to do, which is interesting. I can't believe that, but it is what it is. So we're happy with any work. You know, if we have a grueling day or 2 days, it is what it is. You know, work's work at the end of the day. But like we've been placed where you see all the IVCs full, it's great. You think, yeah, this is going to be a good, you know, it's going to be a good place. Look at that timber, and they take your hand the backing. You just look at the most boomeranged, bendiest, twizzliest stuff you've ever seen in your life. You just think, yeah, they've been building that up for a year, and it's quite funny, really. It is. Yeah, you laugh about it after, but yeah, when you're doing it, you're not laughing. But hey, it's what it is. So as you can see, the logs are going into the bucket, absolutely flying through. We've got another trailer, I don't know if you can see it just back there, a big trailer that we're going to fill up next, and see how far we go out of that. That's a big trailer though, so God knows how much that holds. That's got to be near an 18, 20 cube, to be fair. Got to be. It's not as long, but it's really, really tall. I bet you can pack a lot of logs in there. That I'm hoping will be full today as well, along with hopefully another little tenner trailer, 10 cube trailer. So I have to wait until Jake's empty the deck a bit, get it on. Out of me staring of any big stuff. So it's really hot and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's causing slight issues with machinery, right? So some machinery, our uniforesters, have safety features to stop from overheating. The uniforest is working just fine, but you've got the dust extractor that keeps shutting off. So we weren't going to have a break today, just because we're local and we wanted to finish a little bit early, so we're going to work for our breaks and stuff like that, and it was already agreed. However, we've had to take a 20-minute break just to cool it down. Now, again, I'm not sure how long it will run well for. It might run alright, I don't know, but it's worth taking a look at. You know, if it keeps popping out, we're going to either, you know, go use the uniforest to just dump it all on the floor and all the sawdust, and kind of like work out what to do. Maybe sweep up and shovel up at the end. We'll have to move the generator because you don't want all the dust going into the generator. What the hell was that? It's going to be bitten by something. I've also got some exciting filming next week. I'm heading down to the Maxwell chip site hopefully, and they want to put me up in a hotel, go out for dinner, and I'm going to get some good filming done. So that'll be absolutely lovely. On another note though, we are getting calls most days, or messages most days, regarding our mobile processing. Now, the good thing about what I do, I'm honest. I'm an honest worker. If they send me photos or they show me a certain setup and I don't think they'll get their money's worth, I'll say, look, I don't think you'll get your money's worth because this may slow us down. Shall we make a solution for it? Whether you hire a piece of machinery additionally, or, you know, might be best leaving it, or whatever, okay? And then I roughly gauge what sort of output we should get. So we had one coming earlier. They have got nothing to load or offload the splitter 400. We tried to call the sushi like local farmers, stuff like that. They couldn't get anyone because of the time of year it is. Okay, no problem. So I said, look, the only solution I've got left is we work off of the trailer. We set it all up before I leave out, and then that way we work with the trailer. However, it slows down production because you're going to have one of your lads or yourself passing me up the logs, because I've got to admit my knees are not made for jumping up and down that trailer all day long trying to load and manage that machine. It's an option, we're working on it. The alternative is a small telehandler or tractor for a day, just something to make things easier. We can work on there. He does have a block and tackle in his barn. Well, barn is storage area. Don't know what he can lift, but that's what he uses to lift up the bags to his trailer. So he will lift up a bag, back underneath it, drop it down, rearrange it on his trailer by dragging it, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, he still does a couple of 100 bags a year. I think that's good going. We all start somewhere, and that is good going, so happy days. So we'll see what happens there. That'll be an interesting one to film, just to show people that there are ways around things. Where we are now is like the most ideal thing. We've been given a machine to use, okay? We're left to get on with it. Like, they'll move the log, the tractor if they need to. I'll move the last one, but they'll move the tractor if they need to, put things in place or bring the timber around. But essentially, there's your timber. Here's the machine. Load your own there, crack on. Happy days, because again, you get experience. So my experience is, I know how to grade it. I know what Jake wants. I can tell by his facial expressions if things aren't going right, and if he's getting a bit tired, or I can tell something. Obviously, sometimes the other machine. But between us lot, and Jake will watch this, I do believe I'm better on the grab, but however, he is a Trojan horse on the Uniforest, so you know he spends a lot of time on that. I do, but I do a lot of the Split 400 work as well. Obviously, I'm not always in the yard, and Jake loves that machine. So yeah, he spends a lot of time on it. If you give him the option between that and the Split 400, he'll pick that all day long. When you give him the option, like sometimes, do you want to hop in this, or do you want to do the machine? Do you want to do loading or machine? He'll pick machine. He loves being on the machine, I think. So yeah, we're all good. Can you not believe it? I stacked an Arctic's worth of timber with this, and I did it in pretty good time. When I say pretty good time, obviously it's not the sort of time. Move that one. Obviously, it's not the sort of time, you know, an Arctic driver could do it, with a decent one. But it was faster than I expected and a lot easier. So the good thing about the grab is when you squeeze it, it kind of pull itself around to where it needs to go, which is always good. And when you got a telehandler, you can stack timber so high. Jake needs to move the log deck a deal it. There we go, I've got it. The trailer, or the second trailer, I'd say is 3/4 fullish. Because of the height of the trailer and the space of the yard, I think he's going to pull forward. Scott's going to pull forward, and then we are going to fill the buckets and tip, which quite possibly will slow us down just a little bit, but we are still on track. So once that's full, that's 30 cube, 32 cube. We'll say we still got our bucket though, so yeah, so 34 cube-ish. You know, I think we can do quite well in terms of 40 cube today. And the good thing about that is we've not had all perfect timber. So I've been cutting, I've been stacking, we've been grading. So it's not all been like the cream of the cream all day, like some good big bits and some good timber. But it's not all like that, which is great really, because that goes to the point that I was saying earlier, that no matter what timber you have, if you work through it and, you know, don't leave all the rubbish stuff to the end, you still have a very productive day. So yeah, if we went on all big stuff, we can still get X done, but you know, we have got rid of everything that's been put in front of us, and we've still got a bit of time left as well. So we are really trudging along. I think we'll be on 40 cube today, maybe 42, so we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, we have decided to call it a day. Everything, well, I say everything, things keep tripping, okay? The generator keeps tripping switches on the Uniforest motor. The Uniforest motor is very warm. It's got the oil cooler, granted, but things do still get hot. Now, I know it is that because this happened on a very hot day last year and never happened again since. And what you got to be careful of, keep bypassing the RCD switch, you'll overheat the wires, and then you will have a problem. I'll tell you what my luck is like. So, just before this happened, I had a phone call from Maxwell Chip, invited me out to Yorkshire, put me up for the night before in a hotel, and we're going to go get some food, catch up, and then do some really good filming the next day. Loads planned. I accepted their offer. Everything was like sort of set up in stone. They started booking the hotel rooms. However, this happens, and now I've got to make up time. Now, in order for me to be there Wednesday, I need to leave out pretty swiftly on Wednesday early morning, which, you know me, I'm not shy of an early start. However, I've also got to pack bags and charge my camera gear. Now, packing bags I can mainly do the night before, that's fine, but I've still got to charge my camera gear and get everything set up. I'm filming here the day before, so it's a lot to get done in such a small amount of time, because by the time I've got back to the yard, sort everything out, make sure everything's set up for Jake or anyone else, bypassing the safety feature set. Everyone saw that, just nudging this forward. There we go on the trailer. Ugh, safety features on these. Lucky enough I know Manitous. I know it's perfectly safe. Right, so I've now got a bit of a rush to do between now and Tuesday, Wednesday. And this is all the sort of things that you go through as like a sort of day in a life, should I say, of me, my days in a life almost, running the business, running the channel, running everything. Now, I have a big thing about not letting my business down. My customers' business comes first, of course, as you all understand. But on the flip side, there are certain opportunities that you don't want to pass up, okay? This is one of those opportunities where I can show you guys exactly what a high production facility looks like, 'cause that's what they do. High production wholesale, got some really exciting stuff happening on the Thursday. So it's all been sort of planned and prepped. So I found a balance between both, and the balance between both is my mental state and my exhaustibility. Now, as long as I don't fall asleep while filming, I should be fine. But bar that, everything else is fine. Everything else is ready to go. And I can't see there being any problems with anything else. It's a lot cooler day on Tuesday, so I'm going to get wrapped up and I'll see you shortly. So, I'm on the way back. It is hot in here and I can't talk for long, but when I get back, either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to just double check the trip switches on the generator just to make sure they weren't the issue, but I'm 99.9% sure that they're not. The only reason being is it happened last year. So I'm going to end it here. There's going to be things in between that I do that I'll record, but I'll tie this into day 2 next week. And yeah, so we'll make a bit of a longer video out of it. Thank you all for watching, and if I don't add it now, I might see you next week. We'll see what happens. What's going on, everyone? We are back. So it is Wednesday. I thought I was coming back on Tuesday, but it wasn't. It was Wednesday, so I misspoke last week. And it is Thursday. I'm going to Yorkshire. So how about that for a slice of fine gold? So we're in Yorkshire tomorrow and we're in Leeds on Friday. So bit of a busy week for me and Jake, really. My old man wants to come and do another day on the Splitter 400, which is nice. So he might be coming on Friday. All depends. It's been a bit of a, I don't know how to explain it. I want to say busy week, but it hasn't been a busy week. So it's just been mainly getting things sorted. Got a few more deals done for the channel, which is great. For the community, obviously I run the log by the chat. Deals galore, deals left, right and centre. And obviously I'm trying to sort out some member deals. So like, for example, on this channel, like you'll give me a time and contribution, take your time to watch and stuff like that, and you give your input where you can. So essentially I'm trying to sort out some sort of member benefit, subscriber benefit, don't know how to explain it. Work with a few companies. At the end of the day, you're what makes me tick, and we're what makes other companies run. You know, we're all one big circle essentially. You know, we help the timber hauliers, you know, help the people they buy the lorries from, and then when we buy machinery, that helps the machinery people. And either way, we are all sort of in it together. I know there's people believe in competition, but I don't believe in competition. I believe once you've got a customer, unless they're shopping around for the best prices, which I won't class them as a customer, I class them as a sale. So I think everyone's a sale, but not everyone's a customer of yours or a loyal customer of yours. You know, you got loyal customers that have been there every year, you know, like clockwork. And then you got other customers who will shop around and you won't hear from them for about a year or two, and all of a sudden you start hearing from them again. You know, they're not what I would call loyal customers, but they are sales. But at the end of the day, you have loyal customers that are not up for grabs, unless you do something wrong, like you provided a bad service, a bad product, or you know, your relationship wasn't just working out for them. At the end of the day, you will not have any competition because you won't lose your client. You know, you gotta look at it that way. So the big trailer has been finished filling, or has been filled. There was about half in there from last time. I thought it was a bit more than that, but it kind of ramped up towards the inside of the trailer. So what we've done is I hopped in there, moved things around, shifted a few bits, and continued filling. I believe that's a lot more than 20 cube. The only reason I say that is just looking at about how much I put on that table. You know, we did a good, 6 tables, and I put quite a bit on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure it before I go, hopefully, and work that out. Since then, we've done a bucket, and now we're on another trailer. So, you know, we did the bucket pretty quick because we had a few bigger bits. Now we're back onto the medium to small size bits, keeping Jake filled up on the table. So, you know, trying to make his life as easy as possible. That's my goal, and Jake's goal is to make the wood as nice as possible. So I'm literally still grading, everything's going sweet, you know, so what more can we ask for? Got a big day in Leeds on Friday. I'm really looking forward to it. At the same time, I'm thinking, blimey, that's going to be a tough day because I won't get back from Yorkshire till about 10-ish at night. We're going out for dinner with Maxwell Chip as well. So 10-ish at night comes along, and I've got to go to the yard. Jake should have most of it done, but I always like to check either that night or early hours of the morning on the Friday and make sure everything's all ready. I've got to make sure all the saws are ready. I always have a look the night before or on the day, or on the morning, to make sure we're all good with the saws, all sharp, spare chains, files are all good, because lately files haven't been lasting 2 seconds really. I'm not really happy with the files, but I've been doing some investigating to different files that are out there. I've always known some. I've been doing, in my own time, been testing, you know, what files are lasting longer, what are gimmicks. I say they last longer and they don't. So I'll have some really interesting bits for you coming up. The video for Maxwell Chips is going to be great. I've also got a new job, which is quite interesting. It's just like a small I say small, it's an important role, but it's a part-time role. Can't tell you what, but I'm on a board of advisors to do some consulting for a firm. And some of you may not have known, I've been doing a lot of consulting lately. Well, mainly since I started the Forestry Journal and the channel. A lot of people are asking me for advice, but not like your standard advice. Like, they want me to basically look through their entire business and find solutions, whether that's, for example, running a log grab. You know, they don't want to have too many bits of kit, they're on a budget. You know, what's on the market, what's out there, what company sells what. And I've been doing quite a bit of that, working out prices for people, working out, you know, where the business is struggling. And again, by far, no means am I a millionaire, and by far no means have I got the most perfect firewood company, but I speak to that many suppliers, firewood suppliers, I speak to that many machine suppliers, tons of people reach out to me all the time. I go to that many yards, so I know what sort of things work in what setups, and it's quite surprising. You know, I never thought of doing it this way, but that information, whilst there might not be anything that I can do with some of that information because it's not applicable to me, it'll be applicable to someone out there or someone at a certain business stage. So it's really, really good and interesting. The board of advisors role is something really exciting, which I can't wait to show you all. You know, it's something I'm excited about. It's completely new, and yeah, we'll see how we go. I've got a couple of deals that have just basically been polished up, finished off. Some great content, great footage coming as well. So it's hard to explain the excitement that I have. I'm really excited. There's a hell of a lot of work to do, because obviously it's all good making these deals, but you got to, you know, fulfill them. That's the main thing. But I'm really excited to bring you a lot of stuff, because I believe there's a lot out there, right? A lot of day in the life, like what I do, showing you what I'm doing here, there, and everywhere, giving you some advice, some of this, there's a lot of that, right? But is there many channels or any channels that not just show you their business, but show you other businesses and other things we can do and find you, and you know, things that other people have learned? It's hard to explain, but it's just the content side of things is going to be amazing, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So we're coming to the end of the day. So what we're doing now, we're getting rid of all the big stuff I put to one side. This is perfect for the 12-way head, produce some beautiful logs. If I just back up a little bit, you should, as I'm steady with the timber, let me boom that in a bit, a bit of weight on there, you should be able to see the trailer there. Lower that down for you, there you can see. That is overfull. All the trailers we've done are overfull, so we don't actually know how much we've done, but you know, we filled trailers and buckets today, and you know, he's about to switch trailer just for the last, you know, little bit. Scott, when you watch this, you've been an absolute gentleman, thank you for having us in. I'm going to get some more footage of the processing of the actual timber, and then you can see a bit more. But other than that, we are cracking on. And tomorrow we're at Maxwell Chip, which again is going to be a good day. And then Friday we're in Leeds. I've got tons of processing. I've got so many people trying to book us in at the minute, which is great. I always love to be busy. Firewood's starting to pick up as well. Again, you know, look at it. When I tell you people that, you know, we ain't got long left, last August was the best August on record. Many people in the industry had the same experience in the UK. So if last August was the best year on record, you've got to, even if you got 50% of what you got last year, right, we are 2 months away. We are at the end of June, right? In 2 months we'll be at the end of August. Picture that. 2 months, end of August. We're literally, I can honestly tell you from my business perspective, we are behind on schedule. We should be further ahead. And that's something that I'm working on, and I'm gonna have to spend a load of weekends, catch up with stock, getting things dry in time, and I'm really looking forward to making you all a part of that. You know, July's a very big month for me. It's when I start prepping everything and rearranging yards, and you know, I told you at the start of the year that, you know, we're trying to get things processed. To think, right, in January, February time, we were clearing out that hard pile, and I was saying, we've got to get this yard ready for this year. I'd say 60% of the way there. 60% of the way there, right? We are nowhere near where we need to be. I've also got to, I'm only half the way there with the stock. I've got stock to process, I just need to get things done and bagged up and sorted. And we've got a few extra little surprises on the way to the yard, which I'm sure you will love. So we've got so much to do in such little time. You know, now's the time to crack on. So if I'm panicking about cracking on, if you haven't got where you need to be yet or anywhere near there, crack on, because I can tell just by my phone that people are panicking because the amount of people asking for processing has gone crazy, especially in the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks have been crazy, and we are booking as many people as we can in. Some people aren't suitable for us or our setups. Maybe they don't have anything to load or offload with. You know, we're not just a standard splitter, but we are trying our best. So I've just pulled the tractor in, another trailer, just getting rid of the oversized big stuff as I just said a minute ago. Dust extractor going there. Jake's just picking off the slightly bigger pieces because it's perfect.